Hi, within this lecture, we're going to see how we can add our USB Wi-Fi card to our Kali Linux machine. So in order to do that, we're going to have to configure our settings of virtual machines. So you have to click on your Kali Linux machine and then go to the settings. But I'm not going into the VirtualBox settings, okay? So I'm not going to preferences from here, but rather I'm going to go over to the settings of Kali Linux itself. So this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the settings of Kali Linux. So you have to click on Kali Linux and then settings. And in here, you have to find the USB, okay, the ports, and under the ports, there is a USB tab. So as you can see, you have to click on this enable USB and then choose USB 1, 2, or 3. And if you have a USB 3 compatible computer, it doesn't mean that you have to choose USB 3. I suggest you start with USB 3 or 2, and then if it doesn't work, just delete what you have defined and try with other USB ports later on. As you can see now, I have a Realtek machine, Realtek USB Wi-Fi card defined in my USB 3. And to do that, I went to here, okay, the ports USB and USB 3, and hit this plus button, like we did in network section. Then it shows you the connected USB devices. Then you have to choose your USB Wi-Fi card. Then it will appear on this line here. Of course, if you have anything other than USB Wi-Fi card connected on your computer, it will appear in here as well, but you have to choose your USB Wi-Fi card. So later on, you can say OK, and it will save the latest configuration, but we are not done here. Later on, I'm going into the network, and as you might remember, we have chosen this NAT network thing in order to connect to the internet, but right now, we're going to choose the bridged adapter. And this will allow us to collect a local IP directly from router and connect to the internet using our USB Wi-Fi card. So choose bridge adapter, and maybe you realize that there are other choices in the tab below. And in my case, it says that EN0 Wi-Fi airport, and it isn't the USB Wi-Fi card that we have just connected, right? So choose one of the options appearing in here other than your USB Wi-Fi card. So choose one of the options, because we're going to say OK, and we're going to start this, but before starting, you have to plug out your USB Wi-Fi cards. Maybe it will work without plugging out and plugging in again, but the safest way to do this, choosing one of the other options, plugging out the USB Wi-Fi card, then starting Kali Linux, and then plugging in the USB Wi-Fi card on your physical port only after Kali Linux starts. So let me give my username and password in here, and then I'm going to plug in my USB Wi-Fi card after I open my Kali Linux. So let me maximize this pane. Then I'm going to plug in. Now I'm plugging in my USB Wi-Fi card. After I plug in, I will see my USB Wi-Fi card connecting to my computer from the upper menu in here, from devices or input section. Okay, so I have to go to devices and find the USB and choose the routing that I have connected. Now the USB Wi-Fi card is connected to my machine. But before we continue, let me say that in some cases, students have to choose their own USB Wi-Fi card from the menu that we have discussed previously, and then start the virtual machine without plugging out and plugging in the USB Wi-Fi card one more time. So there isn't a guaranteed way, but I suggest you try this way and then try the other way if it doesn't work. So right now, as you can see, I don't have anything connected in here, so it appears in this list. So let me turn off the wired connection. And as you can see, the Wi-Fi connection appears on this list, but it's not connected yet. In order to confirm this, let me try to ping google.com. And as you can see, we cannot ping google.com. And if I go to Wi-Fi here and say select network, and then choose the network that I want to connect to, and in my case, this is the Pulp Fiction. Of course, you have to choose your own wireless network and then connect it with your router password. And if I hit connect, then it will connect. Hopefully, let's see if we can connect to the internet. As you can see, it's connected and my router name appears in here. Now let me try to ping google.com one more time and see if that works. Now, as you can see, I can connect to the internet, in fact. So let me try and go to my browser and really try to browse the internet and see if we got any internet connection. And I believe we have this. Yeah, as you can see, now I'm connected to the internet. Okay, last thing to see is the ifconfig result. So let me clear this and try to run ifconfig. Maybe you remember that before we got only the ETH0 in here as an interface. Now, when I run ifconfig, it shows the ETH0, but we don't have any local IP in here. So it's not connected. Okay, I disabled it. And I have this WLAN O, which is my wireless card. Now I have this local IP 192.168.126. So this is the IP that router has assigned me. So I don't have anything going on in here. I only have connection in my WLAN O. So maybe you can come across some kinds of problems in this lecture. I'm going to include a manual after this course for common problems and solutions, but I suggest you try with other ports, USB 1, 2, 3, and I suggest you try with other options under the bridge adapter, and then if you cannot solve it, of course you have to go through the manual. So let's stop here and move on to that solution manual in the next lecture.